Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do the third chapter of ABM, that is money supply and inflation. So this is a small chapter which we can finish this chapter in less than 15 minutes. This chapter exists of 2-3 formulas, okay, which you have to memorize or you have to remember. So let's begin. Money supply and inflation. Okay, what is money? Money is anything which performs the following four function. Medium of exchange. So what do you understand by medium of exchange? It states that with the help of money we can exchange goods or services, right? Like individual goods and services are priced in terms of money. It acts as a medium of exchange. That only it has been written over here. Then comes a measure of value. Each goods and services are priced, and hence with price we can measure the value. So money is used to measure and record the value of goods and services. A store of value over time. What happens with the money? If we deposit or keep money for a certain period, which we can use to pay our letter expansion, or big letter expansions can be paid through that. So that only it has been said over here. Money can be held over a period of time and used to finance future payments, right? Then comes standard for deferred payments. Now what do you understand by deferred payments? Deferred payments means a temporary postponement of payment of an outstanding bill or debt. Like you have you have to make an payment of an outstanding bill, and you make a temporary postponement that after a certain period I am going to pay the amount in installment. That is called deferred payments. So that only it has been written. Money is used on an aggregate measure of future receipts and payments in contracts. Like in installment, the repayment is done in deferred payment. Then comes the formulas, that is money supply. Money supply refers to the stock of money in circulation in the economy at a given point. Measures of money supply. The money supply can be done with four most common measures for money supply which are used in India are as follows. Narrow money, that is M1 equals to currency with public plus demand deposit with banking system plus other deposits with RBI. So you have to memorize these formulas, okay. The sums may come related to this, like kindly find out the narrow money of that scenario. So there you have to calculate the currency with the public, whatever the currency with the public are holding. Demand deposits with banking system means all the savings account and current account which exist account, and other deposits with RBI. Then M2 is equal to M1 plus saving deposit of post office savings bank. Okay, so M2 is equal to M1 plus savings deposit of post office savings bank. You just have to remember M1. You will remember it's a money currency with public. The public which currently they are holding money, that is currency with the public, plus demand deposit, that is the amount of money present in savings account and current account. Demand deposits with the banking. Demand deposits like which you can close with demand, plus other deposits with RBI. Then M2 is equal to M1 plus savings deposit of post office savings bank. Savings deposit of post office savings bank plus M1. M3 is, here in the book it is written M2 plus time deposit with bank system, whereas in the I have given a search and I have seen the formula will be M3 equals to M1 plus time deposits with the banking system. Time deposit is like the deposits which get closed after a certain time, like fixed deposits or something which are done after for a certain period, that it consists of time deposits. So M3 is equal to M1 plus time deposits of the banking system, and M4 is M3 plus all deposits with post office savings bank excluding NSC. So M4 is M3 plus, here M2 is saving deposit, and here M4 is M3 plus all deposits with post office savings bank excluding NSC. So currency with public, all this expression has been given. Currency with public is currency of circulation, less cash held by banks. The cash which is not held by banks, which is with the people, with the currency which is in circulation. Demand deposits, as I have told, all the deposits which include current account and savings account which can be closed in demand. Then time deposits. Time deposits are those which are payable otherwise than on demand, and they include fixed deposit, cash certificates, cumulative and recurring deposits which is closed after certain time. Okay, now comes inflation. Okay, so what it has been written, the concept in inflation refers to sustained rise in general level of price of goods and services in economy over a period of time. So in easy example, what do you mean by inflation? Inflation is a situation when sustained rise of prices on goods and services in an economy over a period of time. There is a sustained rise in prices of goods and services in economy over a period of time. So inflation is the rate at which purchasing power of currency is falling. Inflation leads to fall in purchasing power, means it is a rate at which purchasing power of currency is falling. For example, like when the price level rises, like when the price level increases, each unit of the currency buys fewer goods and services. It is quite sure if the price level rises, with each unit of the currency buys fewer goods and services, which act as an erosion in the purchasing power of money. Okay, so that only it has been written over here. So it leads to a fall in purchasing power. So whereas the inflation, it has both the positive as well as negative effects. Negative effects, for example, what it has been stated as such, uncertainty about the future inflation. There is an uncertainty about the future inflation, and so there is a discouragement in investment and savings. People cannot make a decision whether they are going to do investment or how the inflation is going to affect their market. Okay, will cause shortage of goods in consumer begin. So it may happen like if there is a high inflation, so the consumers can do one thing, they can start hoarding of goods. They can start hoarding of goods with the concern that the prices will increase further in future. So to make more profit, to make a more profit, what they will start doing, they will start hoarding their goods, and they will bring out the goods once the prices get increases. So prices will increase further in future. So that may be a negative effect. Positive effect include a mitigation of economic recession and debt relief by reducing the real level of debt. Okay. So these are the negative and the positive effects of inflation. Now next, moving to the causes of inflation. What are the causes of inflation? Demand pull inflation. So through the term only you get to understand demand pull inflation. It has been stated through this one small line, you would be able to understand. Demand exceeds supply. What happens in demand pull inflation? As demand increases and there is no supply, so therefore the shortage hits the market. Now to increase the supply, price of the commodity increases. Okay, now increase the supply, the price of the commodity increases, which helps the supplier to which makes them interest to improve their supplier. And the suppliers will make more supply because they are getting profit, because the price of the commodity has got increased. So from there the demand pull inflation rises. Okay, and there is another cost push inflation. What happens in cost push inflation? It is a type of inflation caused by the substantial increases in the cost of important goods or services where no suitable alternative is available. Okay, so what happens? The substantial increase in cost of production of important goods or services where no alternative is available. So where there is no suitable alternative is available, the cost price of those goods increases. Higher prices are the result as the cost of production increase due to the decreased aggregate supply. Hence cost push inflation arises. Higher cost will result to higher output. This inflation causes to those products which does not have suitable alternative. So if there is, like for example, we have seen in the supply and demand curve chapter that if there was any price increase in any commodity, the alternative we used to use, there we read an relationship like if the demand of if the price of a commodity gets increased, commodity A increases, then the demand of the commodity B will increase, as they act as a alternative product. But cost push inflation occurs to those products which does not have a suitable alternative is available. Okay, so higher prices, what happened in this scenario? Higher prices are the result as cost of production increased due to the decreased aggregate supply. So hence the cost push inflation arises. Higher cost will result to higher output price. So an example has been given. According to the oil price, the producers will have either adjust output supply or translate the higher cost into higher output prices. When output declines because of the cost pressure on the producer, there will be shortage of output market. As a result, prices will rise. Okay. Moving to the next page, measures of inflation. So measures of inflation. Okay. So what happens over here? Denotes a rise in general level of prices. The general price level is measured by the price index. So inflation denotes a rise in general level of prices. The general level price is measured by the price index. These general level prices are measured by the price index. When newspaper tell us inflation is rising, they are in fact reporting the movement of a price index. So by the price index, we are going to measure the inflation. So how do we calculate inflation with price index? What is the formula? Inflation, price index in current year minus price index in base year divided by price index in base year into 100. We will get the inflation rate from that. Okay. So what are the most important price index which are by which we calculate the inflation rates are wholesale price index, food inflation index, consumer price index, and GDP deflator. Okay. So what happens in wholesale price index? Very easy. Through wholesale price index, you get that from the term only you get to understand about what they are saying. It is telling about the wholesale indicator of price changes in a wholesale market. So wholesale price index is something which deals with the changes in price at wholesale level. At wholesale market, with the changes of prices of goods and services which takes place in the wholesale market. Wholesale price index measures the changes in commodity price before the goods reach the retail level. So wholesale price index, it deals with what? It deals in the wholesale level. So before the products, goods, service reaches to the retail level, before that this index is calculated before it reaches the retail level. So that only it has been written. Wholesale price index focus on price and goods traded between corporation and a wholesale stage rather than goods bought by the consumers. So before it reaches the retail level, the wholesale price index is calculated. Monitor price movement that reflects supply and demand in industry, manufacturing and construction sectors. In India, wholesale index is an official inflation index used for policy decision. Okay, so in India, wholesale price index is an official inflation index used for policy decision. You remember this point. Okay, WPI is used for policy decision. Then comes the food inflation index. What happens in food inflation index? Recently, it has been decided by government that wholesale price index will be announced monthly. However, the indices for the food group and fuel group will be announced weekly. Just remember this thing, that wholesale price index is calculated monthly and this food inflation index is calculated weekly. Okay, so what is consumer price index? Consumer price index, again same, from the term only you get to know that it deals with the consumer. At the consumer retail level, the price index is calculated. So consumer price index is a price index that represents the average price of goods over a time. Okay, it calculates the average amount of prices of goods and services over a time. So so it is a calculation of the average price paid by the consumer to the shopkeeper. It measures the price at retail level. So it measures, what does it measure? It calculates the average price paid by the consumer to the shopkeeper. So this is a cost of living index, popular known as core inflation. Remember this thing, the consumer price index is also said as core inflation. So we have 4 different index number of CPI. CPI for industrial workers, CPI for agricultural laborers, CPI for rural workers, and CPI for urban non-manual employees. Great. Remember these 4 types of CPI: consumer price index for industrial worker, consumer price index for agricultural laborers, for rural workers, and for urban non-manual employees. CPI in India is released by Labour Bureau, Ministry of Labour and Employment, Government. This is important. Okay, remember this point, that it has been released by whom? It has been in Labour Bureau, Ministry of Labour and Employment, Government of India. Then comes the GDP deflator. So this one is important. GDP deflator is a measure of level of price of all new domestically produced final goods and services in economy. The GDP deflator is a measure of level of prices of all new domestically produced final goods and services. Okay, it's not based on fixed basket of goods and services. The basket is allowed to change with people consumption and investment pattern. So it changes with the consumption and investment pattern. So the GDP, the basket in each year is set of all goods that were produced domestically weighed by the market value of total consumption of each good. The new expenditure patterns are allowed to show in the deflator as people respond to changing prices. So this one is important, GDP deflator. So as we have finished the chapter, we will go with check your progress. Money supply refers to amount of money in banks, amount of money with the people, amount of money in circulation in the economy. So it is 3, amount of money in circulation in an economy. Narrow money consists of, that is M1. M1 is equal to currency with public plus demand deposits plus other deposits with RBI. Okay. Then comes time deposits. Time deposits are paid on demand, not paid on demand. So time deposits which are not paid on demand, and demand deposits are which are paid on demand. Which are the following statements is true about inflation? A rise in general level of prices leads to fall in purchasing power. Both 1 and 2. 3. Price index used in India to calculate inflation for policy formulation. For policy formulation, I told you to remember this. That is wholesale price index. Consumer price index measures prices at retail level. So just go through this. Let us sum up and all this. Here you get to know that narrow money is M1, broad money is M3. So once they ask you, you can able to answer. Okay, rest it is same.